Welcome, fam. Namaste. I'm Will Spunky, and this is the virtual yoga studio. Today's class is going to be an asana session, and we're going to really focus on Sun Salutations. I'm going to do my best to show you different levels of the Sun Salutations depending on where you are physically. First of all, here's a disclaimer. Please honor where you are physically, mentally, emotionally right now as you begin this practice and start this class. If you are nurturing a existing injury, please honor that. If you know that you have some other existing conditions, please be aware of that. Talk to your physician, talk to your doctor. Yoga is a practice, a physical practice, but also it's more than just a physical practice. It is really honestly, it's a spiritual practice. And so with that being said, that's another disclaimer. Understanding that you are not just about to do a workout. It's going to be more than that, especially if you stay with me and we go through a daily practice. You'll see that yoga is way more than just a physical practice. So with that being said, again, honor yourself, and I will show you as many modifications that I know personally that will help you out. If you have blocks, I highly recommend using blocks. Doesn't matter how young or old, learn how to use blocks. They're very helpful. As you can see, I'm sitting on a cushion here. This is a meditation cushion. You can sit on a pillow. The reason why I do this is because sometimes my hips are pretty tight, and so this allows me some space to allow my hips to relax. Again, this is your practice. I'm here to help you out. I'm here to guide you. I'm going to share my practice with you, and we just share it together. And that's the beautiful thing about yoga. Yoga means union, and that's just one way that we can unify with each other. Okay, let's begin. Well, first, start standing. And one of the key things about our yoga practice as you come to standing is that our practice is based on our breath. That is the key component to yoga. It is the key component to being alive. We can do so much, but at the same time, we are so limited. But the one thing that's always been there with us is our breath. And I believe that there's a secret inside of our breath. There's something behind the power of breathing. I'm experiencing in my life right now, so stay with me. You can think about anything out in the world. We can create a world in front of us and a world that hasn't even existed. But we can't do any of that without our breath. There are some incredible people that do some incredible things with their bodies and their minds, but I know one thing: they cannot do it without breathing. So, let's focus in on our breath. We'll stand in a nice, comfortable position. What's safe for you is safe for you. So, my suggestions a lot of times are for me. You can look at my body and see how I always try to do my best to stack my joints, so my shoulders, hips, knees, and ankles. This is comfortable for me. Sometimes I need to be a little wider. Sometimes I can be close in like so. You find a position for you, play around what feels good for you and your body. And then feel into the feet. Okay? Kind of wiggle the body around and really bring the focus into the small parts of your body. Our yoga practice is going to allow us to cut out all the outside noise, and this is your time to come in and find that peace in that center, but really tap into your true power. And so as we stand here, mountain pose or Tadasana, I'm going to sit up nice and tall. I'm going to tuck my tailbone, lift up through the chest. And maybe my gaze is going straight ahead. And so in our asana, really asana, the word means seat, or just simply a posture. And so Tadasana is just a posture here where we can stand in our power. And now we focus in on our breath. So find your deep inhale. Fill up all the way up, and then exhale, release. Relax the shoulders as well. Inhale, fill up from the belly, through the rib cage and the chest. And then exhale, release, and allow the air to empty all the way out. So when I inhale again, inhale, my belly sticks out, chest, and then exhale, everything squeezes in. So it's almost like a balloon. I fill up, and I let go. So the three parts of the breath are that inhale and the exhale, and then the transition, or even the pauses in between, the retentions. So throughout our practice, and our asana practice, and our Sun Salutation practice, it'll be breath to movement. First, we're going to warm up the ligaments in the bodies, but then the body, and then we're going to do a breath to movement. So tying in with the breath and getting comfortable with understanding that the inhale and the exhale is going to take you from one posture to the next. It's going to move. The body's going to move based on your breath. Okay. So connect the mind and the breath. The body will follow. Back to Tadasana. Take a deep inhale. Exhale. Beautiful. On the next inhale, we'll bring the prayer palms to touch at heart center. Many say that this is namaskar. I call this equal standing pose. But in the Sanskrit, they may say namaskar or samastahiti. Still learning my Sanskrit. Let's take a deep inhale. Fill up. And exhale. So as we make our connection with the palms, we make a connection really to the true nature of ourselves. But we hold the elements of life in these bodies. We are magic, we are life. And we are God's source. So in this moment, we take a deep inhale and a calming exhale to stay centered. Another inhale and exhale. We're going to warm up the ligaments, starting with the hands and fingers. So interlace the fingers, then press the palms together so the elbows come out to the side. Pretend that you have something in your hand, maybe a balloon or something squishy, and you're trying to squeeze it like a sponge. You're trying to squeeze it dry. And take a deep inhale while you are squeezing. Continue squeezing on the exhale. Keep the exhale nice and long and easy. Beautiful. Now relax the elbows and wrists. Find some rotations. Notice maybe a lightness in the elbows and the wrists and the arms. So the key here is to be as focused as you can here in the moment. So the only thing that matters right now is that we're rotating the wrists. And so maybe your mind goes to the hands and the wrists and gives some love and gratitude for what you have and what it does for you. The body listens. Now relax. Now we're going to press the palms away from us, and as we do so, we're going to stretch through the fingertips. So I'm really pressing through the fingers, stretching the hands. Then I'm going to tuck the chin and kind of round through the back. My shoulders go forward. And then on the inhale, the palms comes up, and I press to the sky as I tuck the tailbone. Take a deep inhale, then exhale, tuck and curl. Keep the tailbone tucked here. Inhale to lift. Squeeze the glutes, but lift up through the chest. Exhale. Tuck. One more time. Inhale. And exhale. See how I bend the knees too? That helps protect the back and stuff. And then release the fingertips. We'll come to Urdhva or equal standing, a standing salute, sun salute. Tuck the tailbone, lift up through the chest. And then soften the shoulders away from the ears. So I'm not shrugging, I'm softening. Again, the feet can be here, you can be here. If this is much for the arms, you can come out here like so. Take a deep inhale. And then exhale, bring the palms back to heart center. We're just going to warm up the shoulders here by simply taking a deep inhale. And then exhale. Drop the hands to the side. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, bring it down. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. And exhale. One more time. Inhale. And exhale. Beautiful. Now we're going to warm up the shoulders by allowing the hands to come down to the side, palms facing the sides here. And inhale, arms up. Exhale, arms down. They can come back behind. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Palms back to heart center. Relax the hands down to the side. We're going to warm up the feet and the ankles here. So I'll bring my hands to the hips. And I'm just going to take my toe out here. And I'm just going to find some rotations. So I'm also working on balance. And so if you need to hold on to the wall, or if this is too much, just go ahead and do this with your toe. Nice. And then squeeze and open up the toes. Like you would your fingers. And then we'll do the other side. Make some rotations, just warming up the ankle. You can even shake out the leg as well. And then the toes. And then come back to center. Now with hands on your hips, we're going to do some rocking forward, up onto the toes, and then back onto the heels. So I'm standing nice and tall, doing my best to keep my shoulders stacked over my hips. I got a slight bend in the knees, and on the inhale, I'm going to come up onto the toes, raising up, and then exhale, coming back down, and then lifting up the feet. Again, inhale to lift the heels, and then exhale, lift up the toes. You might fall back like that, that's okay. And then we come back forward. We're working on that balance and control, coming back down, and then stay focused. Beautiful. One more time, inhale up, exhale down. Nice. All right, let's come back. Now we're going to bring the hands down to the knees. Bring the knees to touch. And then we're going to make some big circles here just to warm up the joints and ligaments in the knees and ankles and hips. So I'm just making some figure 8 motions. Now stay with your breath. Take a deep inhale. And an exhale. Beautiful. And then we'll come back to standing. Now we're just going to do some leg lifts here just to warm up, get some blood pumping, but also work on our center balance here. So hands on the hips again. Take a deep inhale. Exhale. Relax the shoulders. Engage the core. Tuck the tailbone. And then we're going to lift the knee. And then lower down. Lift. And lower. Lift. And and lower. Lift and lower. Do that one more time. Lift, lower. Flex the toes as you do so. And lower. Beautiful. Now we're just going to find some chair poses, just to up and down, just to warm up the body here. So inhale, lift up through the chest, and exhale, sit the hips back. Just slightly. We don't have to go down too deep. So I don't want to be too far forward here like this, and I don't want to be bent over. I want to tuck the tailbone, bring the knees back. Do the best you can to keep the knees stacked over the ankles again. Lift up through the chest and then squat down. You should feel it here in the glutes. Keep the gaze straight ahead. And stand up. Press the hips forward, maybe bend at the knees, and then sit down. Stand up. Press the hips forward, and then sit it down. One more time. Inhale. And exhale. Beautiful. Stand tall. Okay, we're going to drop down to the floor here, and we're going to start a warm-up for our Sun Salutation. It'll be breath to movement. And so it'll be a progression all the way up. This is our Sun Salutation. We're going to do two. We're going to do a traditional and then more of and then the Ashtanga style. Okay? I'm going to take you through different variations. You choose which one is best for you. You can add, subtract different postures. They're based on different postures that we do sequentially. We do step by step, breath to breath. Okay, so first, let's drop down to our mat, and we'll come down to all fours first. Now, if you have wrist problems, if you have any problems in the hands, that's also why I use nice soft foamy blocks. I can place the palms on the blocks. If you have perhaps towels, you can roll up towels and grip those, and then put towels on for support as well. If that's too much, and if you can't, another thing is using the fists, stacking the joints. If not, you can always come down to the forearm. So anytime we are on our hands and that's too much for you can always come down to the forearms too, especially in some of our high planks and so on. So here we're at our tabletop position. Shoulders stacked over wrists, hips over knees. We're going to do a round of cat-cow here. Drop the belly, lift the gaze. Open up through the heart space. I'm going to internally rotate the elbows so the eyes of the elbows are facing forward. Instead of out like that, I'm going to turn them in. And then exhale, press the ground away as you tuck the chin and round through the back. Again, inhale to your cow. Exhale to your cat. Inhale. And exhale. One more time. Inhale. And exhale. Now we're going to find child's pose. So we bring the toes to touch. Sit the hips back onto the heels and extend the arms out in front of you. Allow the chest to relax in between the thighs and the heart melts to the mat. Forehead connects. This is Balasana, child's pose. Take a deep inhale and an exhale. One more time, deep inhale. Allow the hips to sink down and reach with the fingertips. See if you can soften in the hips here. On the next inhale, we'll press up into a tabletop position. Now we're going to just do some breath to movement here, just to move the body so you'll see what it's like here. So here, this would be more like a vinyasa flow or a chaturanga, but this would be a variation. So I'm going to start here in my child's pose, tabletop. I'm going to take an inhale to a cow, exhale to a cat, and then I'm going to sit back into my child's pose. Again, inhale to press up to a cow, exhale to your cat, sit it back into a child's pose. Inhale, exhale. Inhale, exhale. Now we're going to find a nice deep stretch here in the hips. So I'm going to press the hips forward down to the ground, lifting up. And so this is the supportive here. This is a cobra pose here. The hips can press down to the mat. Notice that my legs are connected. I'm pressing through the ground, so I'm not dumping into the shoulders. So it'll look like so. See, this would be dumping into the shoulders. Here I'm going to press and use my core and my chest and my arms. Squeeze the glutes to protect the lower back, and then sit back into a child's pose on your exhale. Take a deep inhale, and then the exhale, come back to your tabletop. Okay, now we're going to find a progression here. So on your next inhale, come back to your tabletop, stack the shoulders over the wrists. With the elbows in nice and tight, now I'm going to lower all the way down to the chest. I'm going to keep the hips up, toes tucked. On the chin, elbows in towards the hips. Take a deep inhale. We'll stay here for an exhale. Then we'll relax the hips down. Press the hips into the mat, untuck the toes. Press them into the mat. We'll press up for a cobra. Keep the chin tucked here. Then exhale. Let's do that again to practice that. Really squeeze the glutes to protect the lower back, and then lift through the chest. Press the elbows towards the hips. Exhale, release. Tuck your toes, press back up into a tabletop, and then back into your child's pose. Let's try that again. Inhale to press forward. Tuck the toes, lower down to the chest. Press the hips into the mat. Inhale to your cobra. Exhale, release. Tuck the toes, press up and back into your child. I'm going to do that again. Inhale. Tuck the toes. Chest, chin. Cobra. Inhale. Exhale. Press it up and back. You stay with your breath. Stay in your child's pose here for one more breath. On the next inhale, let's come back to our tabletop. Now we're going to build some heat by stepping back into a high plank. So your high plank looks like so. So I'm not too far up. That's more like a half down dog. I'm going to tuck my tailbone, shift my shoulders forward. So now my shoulders are really more so over my knuckles perhaps. Notice where the feet are. I'm up onto the toes. Chin is slightly tucked. Take a deep inhale. Now on the exhale, lower all the way down. Maybe the knees can come down. So a supported high plank is just here with the knees down. Then I can just lift the knees. Down, up. You can play around with that. Play with one, play with two. Okay? Now we're going to lower all the way down. When we lower all the way down, keep the elbows in nice and tight. Okay? Keep the elbows in nice and tight. Not like her, like her. And we come all the way down. Untuck the toes. Inhale to your cobra. Exhale, release. Beautiful. Tuck your toes. and then press back up into your high plank. You can come up to the knees first and then to your high plank. And then we'll sit it back into a child's pose. Woo! Yeah. Stay with your breath. Deep inhale. Open mouth, exhale. So the key to a perfect posture or doing it right is giving it your best effort. And then once you give it your best effort, see if you can find ease in that effort without a whole lot of mental thought. Because the mind will fluctuate. It will start telling you you can't do this or this is hard. Stay with your breath. Your breath's not talking. Well, your breath should be doing the talking. All right, let's continue. On the next inhale, we'll come back to center. We'll find our tabletop. Now we're going to add on a little bit more heat and strength to the upper body and the core. So we'll come back to our high plank. Take a deep inhale. Now Chaturanga Dandasana, or half plank. So we're going to come down, shift the weight forward, and then come all the way down to about elbows height. So the shoulders never dip below my elbows. So I'm here. Tuck the tailbone nice and tight. Okay, keeping the elbows in it so it looks like so. My elbows are tucked in, and I'm here. And then I find my up dog as I flip over the feet, lift up through the chest. Just like our cobra pose, I'm pressing the mat away, not allowing the shoulders to dip. And I lift through the knees. So my energy is really through the thighs. Take a deep inhale. And then on the exhale, we're going to roll over or step over the toes. And we're going to find a down dog. So in your down dog is reverse upside down V. The key here is to keep the spine nice and long, taking the hips to the sky. You can bend the knees here to bring the core to the thighs. You can come up onto the toes. The heels do not have to melt towards the mat. They don't always have to touch, especially if you have tight calves or hamstrings or Achilles. You can take this foot behind and find a little stretch. You can pedal out the legs. You pedal out the legs. Now, if this is hard on the wrists and the arms, okay, one, grip the mat with your fingers and not press into the heels, okay? Also, you can use your blocks. Sometimes that helps. If I put my hands on the blocks, and now I can elevate, okay? That might help as well. That might alleviate. Or use the ties. Another alternative is always to come back to child's pose. You can switch up, okay? Let's come back to our down dog. The gaze here, okay, can go to the feet or up to the core. And that tucks the chin, keeps the spine nice and long. Press through the mat, so I'm not dumping the shoulders, I'm really pressing away here. Beautiful. Take a deep inhale and an exhale. Now we're going to make a meditative walk, so we're going to walk up to a forward fold. Notice how I'm using the blocks. If a forward fold is too much for you, you can bend the knees here, use the blocks to bring the mat to you. Otherwise, we're trying to connect the core to the thighs, release head, neck, and shoulders. And so traditionally, we'll have the hands down to the side. On the inhale, we'll find a halfway lift. So on the halfway lift, I'm not rounding through the back here. I'm sticking the hips back. So notice the angle in the legs. hips are back, flat back. All I really need to do is come up to here. So the hands can be down by the shins, and I'm looking up with a flat back, shoulders away from the ears. And then I fold forward. I do that again. Inhale to a halfway lift. Then exhale, fold forward. Now we'll rise. Inhale, one vertebrae at a time. We'll take our time. The breath will bring us up to a sun salute, Urdhva, reaching the fingertips up. And then exhale, we'll come back to equal standing pose. Find an inhale and your exhale. So now we're going to go through a flow here, breath to movement. And so we built up from the floor back. So we'll do one round. Actually, we're going to do 2 rounds of breath to movement, Sun Salutation. Go at your pace. Again, build up. If you're new to this, take your time, go one step at a time. If you're intermediate or if you got your flow, do you, boo. We're all in this together. Let's breathe together. All right. We'll stand at Tadasana, mountain pose. On the inhale, bring prayer palms to heart center, equal standing pose. Exhale. Inhale, palms up. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale to a halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Plant the palms. Step back into a high plank or tabletop. Okay, different variations. Exhale, lower down. Okay, so this time around we're going to, if you're on your knees, lower down to the chest. If you're in a high plank, you can come down to here or all the way down. Okay, then inhale to your cobra. You can come here. If you're at a Chaturanga Dandasana, you're here, you'll find your up dog. This is an inhale, and then an exhale brings you back to your down dog or your child's pose. Another variation of that flow can be inhale and then the exhale. All right? So if you step back, you can come back to your tabletop, inhale to your up dog or your cobra, and then exhale to your down dog. Okay? Different modifications for that. Let's continue to flow. We'll start from down dog. I'll flow according to my body, you flow according to your body. We'll go breath to movement. Down dog. Take a deep inhale. And open mouth exhale here. And inhale, look up to the top of your mat. Exhale, travel to a forward fold, feet together. Find a halfway lift, flat back, strong core. Exhale, release. Inhale, rise to a full body extension. Reaching the arms up. Find the back bend on the exhale. Inhale to reach tall. Exhale, forward fold. Halfway lift, inhale. Exhale, plant the palms, step back. Lower down. Inhale, open up. Exhale, send it up and back. You got the flow. We'll do that one more time. Stay with your breath. Inhale, look up. Exhale, step up or hop up. Forward fold. Halfway lift. Exhale, release, forward fold. Inhale, rise. Reach both arms up. Exhale, find the back bend. Inhale, stand tall. Exhale, forward fold. Release head, neck, and shoulders. Halfway lift, inhale. Exhale, step it back to your high plank, your tabletop. Lower down. Inhale to your cobra, your up dog. Exhale, send it up and back to your down dog, your child's. Take a deep inhale. Open mouth, exhale. Beautiful. Inhale, look up to the top of your mat. Exhale, step, jump, or hop to a forward fold. Halfway lift on the inhale. Exhale, fold. Inhale, rise. Exhale, bring prayer palms to heart center at equal standing pose. Beautiful. Take a moment here and feel into your breath. Notice the deepness of the breath. See if you can control it by expanding the breath. And then allowing the exhale to be easy and free. Finish all the way out. Allow the body to breathe. Inhale, fill up, belly, rib cage. Expand through the heart. Exhale, release, let it go. Okay. This is really just more of a tutorial, more of a workshop for if you're a beginner, or just to get to know me and my style. We will obviously speed it up at other classes, but I'm just trying to taking my time with the Sun A so that everyone has the opportunity to practice just this very, very potent and powerful yet simple part of yoga, our asana practice. The second part here, we're going to go into the Sun B, and I'm going to talk about chair pose and some split leg postures, and then we'll cool down and finish up. If you need a break, if you need to get some water or have you, do that right now. Welcome back. Let's flow through Sun B. Actually, I take that back. We are going to go through the second style of a Sun A, which is more of a traditional style. This requires really not a lot of high plank, so you can actually do this without a lot of stress on the wrist. So if you want to do this in the morning instead of the Ashtanga style, you can do that as well. Let's roll. We'll start at the top of the mat. We'll come into our Tadasana mountain pose. Take a deep inhale. Exhale, bring prayer palms to heart center. Inhale, reach the palms up overhead, find the back bend. Exhale, forward fold. Maybe the arms reach out in front of you, or maybe they come to heart center or out to the side. We'll find a halfway lift. On the exhale, we'll plant the palms, step the right foot back into a low lunge. And then you'll drop the back knee, untuck the toe. Some people might keep this toe here for support. Up to you. The best thing to do is keep that left knee or the knees always stacked over the ankles. Not too far forward like so. If you have that range of motion in your knee, do so, but not playing around. So knees stacked over ankle. Palms are placed on the mat, fingertips, or you can use your blocks here. Okay? And then on the inhale, I'm going to lift through the chest as I press the hips down a little bit. So you'll see a little flexion here in the knee. But I'm really anatomically safe. I feel good. I can untuck the toe and find a little deeper stretch here. So I lift up through the chest. That's an inhale. On the exhale, I plant the palms. Okay? I step this left foot back. I come into my down dog. Take an inhale. Drop down to the knees, chest, chin. And then I press, inhale, exhale. Press back up to my down dog. Lift the right leg, step it through. Little lunge. Drop the back knee, untuck the back toe. Then I find that lunge. Inhale. And then on the exhale, tuck the back toe. I step back up to a forward fold. Inhale to rise. Exhale. Here. Okay? We'll go through that again one step at a time. Might be a little bit more steps than the other one, but this is a really good for the total body. You can do this just as your practice alone. Again, we'll start in Tadasana mountain pose. I'll do it in front of you so you can see as well. Mountain pose. Take a deep inhale. Exhale. Inhale, palms up, back, exhale, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, plant the palms, right foot back. Drop the knee, inhale to lift. Exhale, plant the palms, step back, down dog. Drop down to the knees, chest, chin. Inhale to a cobra. Exhale, press back up. Right leg steps through. Drop the back knee. Inhale to lift. Exhale, tuck the toes, step back, forward fold. Inhale to rise. Exhale. Prayer pose. Tadasana. Good. So that's another traditional Sun A. And we'll add those in my classes. Sometimes I'll do a Ashtanga style, or we may incorporate the traditional. I may just do a traditional. A lot of times you can always do your Sun A's in a series, so you'll do maybe 5 or 10 Sun A's, depending on how you feel. Okay. We're going to leave it at that today. That's my first class. We're going to cool down now, find some cool down stretches, and then come into a Shavasana, and then end the class, and then we'll go at it tomorrow. Find a seat on your mat, and extend the legs out in front of you. We'll find Dandasana staff pose. So engage the core, lift up to the chest, press the palms down to the mat, elbows in, flex the toes to the face, sit up nice and tall. Take a deep inhale, and then exhale. Then inhale, reach the arms up overhead. On the exhale, cactus the elbows, open up through the heart. Just do a nice little back bend here. Inhale to reach. And then we're going to find a forward fold. And you can bend at the knees here to connect the thighs and the core. You can extend and really reach through. Take a deep inhale. So notice how I have a round in the back. I'm going to lift through the chest. Take my chest to the feet, and then really stretch to this lower back here. So sometimes I may just only have to come here. I don't need to go all the way down, but if you want that intensity, you can. Stay for a breath, deep inhale, and then exhale. We'll slowly rise. Now we're going to bring the heels together, allow the feet to fall out to the side. Now bring the soles of the feet together for a butterfly. Sit up nice and tall, grab the toes or the ankles, and as you do so, lift up through the chest. And the elbows come in nice and tight. So it looks like so. Sitting up, take a deep inhale. On the exhale, tuck the chin and round through the back. Inhale to lift. Exhale, tuck and curl. One more time. Inhale. And exhale. Beautiful. And then flap the wings. Beautiful. Bring your knees to touch. Give yourself a hug around the shins. Beautiful. Now we're going to extend the legs. Sit up closer to the top of your mat. Bring the arms out in front of you, then slowly begin to lower down. If this is too much, just bring the hands down like so, and then lower down. Once you're here, take the right leg, gather the right knee into the right armpit. Like so. For a wind removing pose. So I'm really taking my thigh and hugging it to my rib cage. So I'm not like this, I'm actually a little wider here. Take a deep inhale, pull and breathe. One more time, deep inhale and exhale. Then we're going to find a supine twist. So we're going to take this knee and wrap it over to the other side. Do the best you can to stack the hips, right hip over left. Reach out with that right arm. Do the best you can to keep your shoulders connected. Maybe the gaze goes off to the opposite side. Stay with your breath. Beautiful. Let's come back to center. Give yourself a hug around the shins and then extend the right leg to the sky. Flex the toe and then allow the heel to slowly lower down to the mat. Once that foot lands, gather the left into the left armpit. Deep hug and squeeze. Stay with your breath. One more inhale. One more exhale. We'll find a supine twist. Switch it over. Stack the hips. Reach. Do your best you can to keep the shoulders stacked. Touching the mat. One more inhale. Easy exhale. Come back to center on the inhale. And then give yourself a hug around the shins. Bring both knees into the outer parts of the rib cage or to the armpits. Then we're going to find happy baby. So happy baby, keeping the lower back stacked, pulling down on either on the inside or the outside of my ankles. Maybe you want to straighten one leg like a baby, roll side to side like a baby. Re-extend the legs to the sky and bring the knees down to the chest, hug the shins. Forehead to knees. Take a deep inhale. And then exhale. One more inhale. Hold. And then exhale. Extend the legs long. Arms out to the side. Palms up. Allow the ankles to relax. Allow the knees and hips to relax. This is Shavasana. We'll be here for about 2 minutes to 3 minutes. Allow your body just to relax, find some peace and calm. Allow the breath to be natural. And just be here in stillness. I'll wake you when it's time. Find a deep inhale, fill up from the belly, and then the chest, then exhale, release. Stay in your softness, stay in your stillness. Allow the mind to be free, relaxed. Begin to invite a little bit of movement back into the fingers and the toes, and then maybe the wrists, maybe waking up the jaw and the eyes, maybe a stretch overhead here to come out. Take a deep inhale, and exhale, bring the feet to the mat, and then the knees to the chest. Maybe a little rock side to side. Then roll over to a side in the fetal position. Plant the top hand on the ground, your mat. Rest your head on the bicep. And even in this posture, a posture of rejuvenation, of rebirth, every time we get to inhale and exhale, that's a rebirth within itself. So let's give some love and gratitude to our home, our true connection, our earth, our universe. I'm going to press up to close out this practice in a seated position, a Sukhasana. We'll sit up nice and tall. Bring prayer palms to heart center. And maybe the eyes are closed and you're listening to my voice, or you're looking at me. We'll take a deep inhale, fill up. And an open mouth exhale, release and let go. So the one thing that connects us all is our breath. Sorry. The one thing that connects us all is our breath. And so let's connect our breath before we end out our practice together. First, we'll exhale. Any impurities that may remain, we'll cleanse out, and then we'll fill up from the belly, expanding through the rib cage and the chest. An open mouth exhale, we'll send love, peace, and harmony out to the world and each other. Thank you for joining me. Tomorrow, I will be here doing another live class. Today is February 21st, 2024. I know that no one is actually watching, but when you do watch this recorded, tomorrow will have happened. So I love you. Peace and love, my friends. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Peace.